So allow me to read you the subject line of my most recent email. Jayce, if you love your XDA peeps and have a heart, you will respond to this email. He then goes on to list his questions. Well, I do have a heart, but I also have a wife, and my wife thinks that I spend too much time on a computer. So, there was only one solution to get the answers out to the most popular questions I get by email. You guessed it. We're gonna read my mail sack. Welcome back, XDA crowd. My name is Jayce, and today we cover the most frequently asked questions via email. As you could probably tell in the past, I feel a little guilty about not being able to answer all the emails individually or even most by video. There's just too many, and the questions are often long emotional appeals. People are, they're stressed, they're anxious about what to do with their life or how to solve a particular problem, getting hired, or what school to go to and all this kind of stuff. And although most people clearly think that their situation is unique, in most cases, the solution is really the same for all of them. So here we go. The most popular questions I get by email. Starting off at number 5, where should I study to become a developer? I think this is the wrong question. First, you want to ask yourself the question, how do you learn best? Going to any university, even if it was free and I was very young and had lots of time and lots of money, that would still be a bad idea for me to go the academic route and get a CS degree. Why? Because I don't learn best in an academic setting. Some people do. My wife, she's fantastic at that. I need small, short, intense instruction, either one-on-one or in small groups, and then I need to go off and apply it and execute it on my own way, on my own time. Everything that's been difficult for me to learn, I've learned that way successfully. How do you learn? Once you know that question, that can help you dictate where you should go and study. Should you go to university? Should you go to hacker school? Should you take something like Coursera? Should you work with a friend one-on-one? Or maybe you're one of those people who can do it pretty much all on your own and you just learn best by doing. How best do you learn? Number 4, why become a developer when all the good jobs are being outsourced to India? That's sort of bollocks. There's some half-truths there. Yes, some low-level IT positions, positions that don't demand a lot of cultural sensitivity, they can be outsourced to a different country that has a different culture. So, but in a lot of small teams, having a cultural fit is really important. Really clear communication skills is crucial to having a successful project. Those jobs will not be outsourced. Creative problem solving, those jobs will not be outsourced to such an extent that here in North America, there's far more demand for qualified developers than the supply can fill. So seize that opportunity. Please don't use the whole outsourcing to India as an excuse. In my experience, it's largely just been an excuse. Question number 2 starts with something like this. Jayce, I know you already answered this question, but my situation is a little bit different, etc., etc., etc. And usually then they start talking about, this happened to me, and that problem happened to me, and this has happened to my family, and my parents think this, and this happened at school, and blah, 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 blah. Lots of drama and problems that I'm not diminishing those problems. Lots and lots of problems. But the problem is that they think that because their life is difficult or there's some really big obstacles that are hindering them from learning how to code, they think that the solutions should somehow be different for them. And it's not. I think I can safely say in all the interviews that I've done with people who actually hire developers on a regular basis and work with developers on a regular basis, they are looking for people who stand out in some demonstrable way. They can show you, look, I built this, and this thing did this. It solved this problem. And the only way you can get to that position is to code now, and continue to code. I empathize with a lot of the emails that have come in because they're emotional and people are anxious and they're concerned and they're plagued with a lot of doubt. The only way to get through that is to code now and continue to code. It's a mantra. Put it on a banner above your desk and read it every morning, because I really think that that is a solution to almost every question that comes in. Number 1, the big daddy question, the question that is the most commonly asked is, I got this killer app idea. How do I get it built? So this answer was questioned by Gina Trapani. She's a developer. She created the Think Up app. She's also the host of All About Android on the Twit network. The link or title is right there. I also have the link in the show notes below. Gina is fantastic. You should watch All About Android all the time. If you're a developer and you love Android, that's really the place to be, in addition to XDA, of course. Check that out in the links below. So after talking about all this fear and anxiety that tends to generate these questions, I wanted to introduce you to a book called The War of Art. And if you remember, I recommended the book The Dip by Seth Godin. The War of Art takes the dip and really takes it to an almost spiritual level. It's by an author named Steven Pressfield, who I am a Steven Pressfield devotee. He's really fantastic. He wrote a sequel to The War of Art called Turning Pro. It has nothing to do with war, and it has very little to do with art. It has everything to do with pursuing your calling and getting the work done that you were meant to do. Whatever that work is, whether it's building software, starting a business, or being the next Picasso, whatever it is, what are the obstacles that come in the way and stop us from doing what we know we really should be doing with our lives? And it's profound, really short. I have the paperback, I have the ebook version, I have the audiobook version, because this is something like every 6 months I revisit this book. It's like Steven Pressfield just reached into my brain and he held me and said, get your BS together. It's called The War of Art. Check it out, and I will see you tomorrow.